All right, welcome into another edition of the 2023 MLB Draft Show. I'm excited for this one. We got Juaron Watts-Brown, my man, Oklahoma State. How we doing, Juaron?
Doing good, man. Excited to be on here and ready to chop it up.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, we always kick this thing off. We always start it off. Tell the viewers, tell the listeners a little bit about Juaron Watts-Brown. Where are you from? Kind of who are you off the field? And then a little bit about how you like to operate on the field.
Okay. I'm from Hanford, California, small town in the valley. I get the rap coming over here to Oklahoma that I'm an LA kid. But
Yeah.
now I'm more of a small town kid. Off the field, I like to hang out with my friends. I like to play video games. I'm really competitive. It goes my point for on the field too. But kind of just like to hang out, watch sports. I love football, basketball, and baseball. So I love watching those. And then on the baseball side of it, I love to compete. I feel like that's the reason why I've kind of gone on an upward trend is because my competitiveness helps me out a lot. Um, it what fuels me for each game. I want to beat the opponent so bad that it fuels me. So
I dig it. I dig it. How about a little bit about the type of pitcher that you are on the field? Because you got some, you got some nasty stuff. I know you got a baseball. Why don't
Mhm.
you show the viewers a little bit about your grips and what you like to throw?
Okay. So obviously four seam, traditional four seam. Two seam slash sinker depends on kind of the day. Hold it like a regular two seam, but then my two off speed pitches I like throwing them the most. Honestly, is my slider, just like the two seam, just in a little bit,
Okay.
and then for my curveball, I spike it. I learned this a long time ago. This is the pitch I've been working on probably the most since I was youngest. Slider came the last 2 years, but yeah, curveball has been the toughest one to learn. But when I'm pitching, one thing I've learned over the past couple months is just reading the hitter. I kind of just pitched before that. I feel like I kind of just got the sign and didn't really know why I was doing it. But now it's more of just trying to beat the hitter with what's going to beat them instead of using an off speed. If I can use a fastball, just stay with it. And I think that as I learn more and more, it's going to be even more fun to use my pitches to destroy hitters, honestly.
Destroy hitters. I like it, man. I like the verbiage. Okay, so for those of you that don't know Duran, he has it's a diabolical slider. I mean, the slider is disgusting, but I want to hit on the fastball, the four seam and the two seam. I know talking to some people, it sounds like the only rhyme or reason in like 2020, 2021 was, two seam away from the lefties, four seam up on the righties. How have you kind of transformed those two fastballs and how are you looking to use them this year?
This year, I want to be able to use my two seam on both sides of the plate. I typically only use it into righties, away to lefties, but I think that adding more movement to a pitch, whether it's into a lefty, is beneficial. And then with the four seam, using it on both sides of the plate because it's a pitch that's the hardest pitch to hit when you can place it and when you can execute it. So I think the biggest thing for the fastball this year is being able to command it to my best ability and use it on both sides of the plate, whether it's a four seam or a two seam.
Yeah. So you're coming from Long Beach. You
Yep.
go to Oklahoma State. It sounds like you're a guy that really likes to kind of get into the numbers and the way that the baseball moves. How much have you taken advantage of that at Oklahoma State, and how are you using the numbers to improve your stuff?
So I never really been introduced to the numbers till recently, and kind of looking at them and using them to my ability, like with IVB on a fastball, like
Mm-hmm.
where I should really place my four seam, working up in the zone, is super beneficial. So that's kind of one of the things I've learned from it is being able to use pitches in the correct way that they're metrically moving. I think another thing is you can get lost in the analytics. So that's what I try to stay away from. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to mechanics and where you're throwing the ball. Like you have to execute pitches, you have to have feel for them. So I think that's kind of the biggest thing is, yeah, there's the analytical side, but then you have the mechanics and the mental and the in-game type of things to do. So I think that's the biggest difference.
One thing that I've noticed in watching your film is your mechanics, your athleticism has come a long ways in 2 years. I mean, you've really kind of brought an ease to the mound that you maybe didn't necessarily have 2 years ago. Does that come from the weight room? Does that come just from natural progression of training? Like, what sort of goals and development have you seen from just your operation on the bump?
I think it's a mixture of the weight room and just working in my mechanics. I was kind of just a thrower for my first couple of years of pitching. I
Yeah,
feel like that I didn't really know what I was doing, but as I've experienced more and learned more, the mechanics side has probably been the biggest part, in my opinion. Just learning how to use your body down the mound, maximizing them, and then the weight room plays a big help in it because as you get stronger, you can throw the ball harder. You can get all the things that you want out of your body when you're throwing the pitch. So I think honestly the biggest thing is the mechanics, just feeling what you're trying to do down the mound and making sure you're doing it 100%.
for sure. So what's next? Tangible results. You got, 4 months before spring ball starts back up.
Mhm.
What specific goals do you have for your stuff, for your body, for your training? Like, what are you looking to do this winter?
This winter, I want to be able to put on as much weight as I can before the spring. I had just shut down, so right now I'm in the weight room 4 to 5 days a week. So by doing that, I can get stronger and get mobility, doing things like that. And then also, since I'm not throwing, I still need to work on my mechanics because that's one of the things that I think has caused my inconsistency in times and games. So by isolating the movements that I've been working on since I've gotten here to make sure once we get to the spring, they're down pat so I can do them every single pitch. Um, and once I get back into throwing, just not trying to rush into it, not trying to expect high velocity, just getting my arm back into shape and getting myself ready for the season.
Yeah, patience is critical. That's for
Yep.
sure. Yeah, I mean, I want to know a little bit more about your choice to go to Oklahoma State, Long Beach last year. I know that you had a backpack full of offers. You could have gone a number of different places. What was it about Oklahoma State that really captured your attention?
Just the atmosphere, the coaches, and the kind of the team aspect of it. I think that Walton was probably the biggest piece for it for me is just being able to talk to him about pitching and communicating in a good way to where I understand it and we can make progress. Um, and then the coaches on top of that, we got Josh here. He's a great head coach. He pushes us to do our best every day, and then we have the assistants like Seeley and Victor and Matt Holiday, obviously, and that it's definitely a group effort, and the team is a team. It's not there's nobody by themselves. There's no I guys. It's a clubhouse that you want to be in. So I think that just the spot in general, and obviously the facilities are amazing.
Yeah,
I think this was the best spot for me to come into.
definitely no I guys. Baseball, you got to win with a team. One guy's not going to do it, but I mean, you had a chance to face these guys now in fall ball. I got to ask, is there a dude that steps into the box? You're on the mound. You're like, I really don't want to do this.
Oh, Rock, man, he's a California guy,
Yeah,
so I know he gives me a lot of credit for pitching, but I got to give him the credit for hitting too because he's a good hitter, man. He knows what he's doing in the box. He knows when to sit on certain pitches, and he can do some damage. I think that he's probably the guy that I look out for the most.
you face Rock at all in high school? I know you guys are a year apart.
Yeah, no, I never faced him in high school. I think that him being down south probably why, because high school, and then I didn't play very much travel ball, so probably didn't play in the same tournaments that he did. But no, it's
Makes
nice
sense.
being on the team with him now.
Yeah, for sure. You don't have to face him anymore. All right, so we'll take the eye off of this. What sort of goals have you guys kind of discussed for Oklahoma State baseball for 2023? What are you looking to accomplish?
I mean, I think that everybody's goal is to get to Omaha, but I think our goal at the end of the day is to get better each and every day. I think that by taking it day by day and not thinking about stuff in the future like playoffs or guys with draft, like if you can really focus on what's going on now, working on your tools and being a teammate each and every day, that's what's going to kind of push us to be where we want to be at the end. Be creating a bigger circle of guys rather than a bunch of groups. I feel like that's kind of how we can get to that end goal of going to Omaha. And making each other better each and every day in practice. And then once it comes to inter squads, compete.
I like that. I like that bigger circles idea. Just like power by numbers. If everybody is in a clique, everyone's going to be fighting towards the same goal. I dig
Yep.
that. All right, so let's look a little bit forward. I don't even want to say I'm looking forward when I ask this question, but I mean, you obviously had to have watched big leaguers growing up, modeled your game a little bit after some of them. Is there a guy that you kind of take after that you really enjoy watching, or that you did model any of your game off of?
I think modeling like my aggression and confidence is like Max Scherzer. I feel like he's kind of a freak on the mound. Like you can tell it's his attitude is he's going to beat every guy that comes step into the box, and that's one guy that I've tried to look after because I'm a Dodgers fan. So it was nice to see him in some Dodger uniform for a little bit. But the way he has his presence on the mound, the way he carries himself each and every outing, even when he's not doing well, is kind of who I try to portray myself after.
I like it. All right, I'm going to hit you with a little bit of a rapid fire question here. If there's a batter in the major leagues that you would really like to strike out someday, who's it going to be?
Oh, I probably have to say Mookie Betts. I'd like to face Mookie. He does some damage. I mean, obviously,
Good luck.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But he's definitely a guy I would love to face.
I love it. I love it, man. Well, let's hit you with, I guess, 3 more rapid fire questions. We always end with these ones. Juaron, do you have a brother or a sister?
Yeah, I do.
Brother, sister? Which
Yeah,
one?
so I have a little sister. I have a couple other siblings, but my little sister, yeah.
Perfect. So little sister is a great way to go off of this question. The Oklahoma State program, and I'll give you Long Beach too. These 2 programs you play for, and you know what? I'll even throw in your Cape squad.
Okay.
Who's the one guy on all those teams that there's no chance you're going to let them date your sister?
Oh, going back to last year, probably Jake Rons.
Okay.
Long Beach. I played with them last year. Probably Jake Rons.
Okay. All right. Oklahoma State and the Cape. At Oklahoma State and on the Cape, who had the worst sense of style? Who just they don't know what they're doing in the closet?
Worst sense of style. I'll go with Riley Taylor here at Oklahoma State.
I dig it. All right, last question. We always end with this. It always stumps everyone, so take your time.
Okay.
What's the one random fact that you know about anything? Doesn't have to be about baseball, that not a lot of people know.
Oh my gosh. Random fact. Okay, the chances of finding catching a blue lobster is 1 in 2 million. Yeah.
I didn't even know a blue lobster was a real thing.
Yeah.
Just like in the ocean, there's blue lobsters?
Yeah. I've seen a couple videos, and I thought that was pretty cool, is that it's like finding one is 1 in 2 million.
What do you do with a blue lobster when you catch it? Because I assume they taste the same with butter.
Yeah. I mean, I would think you would try to either probably throw it back or keep it. I would keep it alive because that's pretty.
I bet you could make big money off a blue lobster selling it to a high-end restaurant.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And they could upcharge it. I like that one. I've never gotten that. I've never gotten a seafood fact. I like it, man. Juaron Watts-Brown, Oklahoma State, man. I know you're going to be shoving this spring. It's going to be big things. Excited to see what you and the Cowboys do. Excited to see what you and Rock Reggio do. Definitely big things down there in Stillwater. Juaron, hey man, thanks for joining the show. We'll talk to you soon, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate it.